Thank you for tuning in to Tanaka TV, the best and future biggest fight channel on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, that comment, that subscribe button. We're trying to get this channel to over 2K subs by the end of the year, and the end of the year is almost here, people. So I know I'm asking for a lot, especially as I look at the trajectory of where this channel is going. But we can do it. We can do it, but we cannot do it without your support. So thank you for those who support this channel, and thank you for those who will support this channel in the future. I truly appreciate it. Now, Jon Jones has come out with a statement that is quite interesting. He said, if there would be a fight of a guy that's still on the UFC roster that would be not only financially worth it, but legacy worth it, it would be Alex Pereira. We're both 37 years old. Right now, I weigh about 235. I think Pereira walks around at 240. I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe gone tomorrow. And he's talking about Tom Aspinall. Now, there's a lot to unpack there, because I know that there are a lot of comments who are opposed or for what Jon Jones has said. I'm going to go and say that I am for what Jon Jones has said. Now, maybe I agree with the fact that when it comes to that particular division and this particular time, Tom Aspinall is that guy. Maybe even over Stipe Miocic. But you have to look at the big picture of Jon Jones's career and his legacy. Tom Aspinall, in my opinion, is not necessarily needed. He has beaten the who's who's. He's beaten all the greats, all of the legendary champions that the UFC has offered over the course of the what? We can say 15 years or so. And I understand that he has not done a whole bunch of work in the heavyweight division. But I don't think there's a whole bunch of work to be done in the heavyweight division. And if we're talking about what weighs more for Jon Jones, what would make a bigger statement to Jon Jones and who he would fight, I think it would be Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is proving himself to be one of the greatest strikers, not only one of the greatest strikers to grace the octagon, but one of the greatest champions, one of the most dominant and entertaining champions to possibly ever come through the UFC. He's making so much noise, and there have been so many what if Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira scenarios that have come up. I understand where Jon Jones is coming from. Alex Pereira will probably be marked down as one of the most dominant champions to ever come through. And if Jon Jones can come through and beat Alex Pereira on top of beating Stipe Miocic, I see the thought process behind Jon Jones. And there are a lot of people who are saying Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. I don't think that is the case here. Has Jon Jones ever been known to duck anybody? No matter how dangerous they are, no matter how they match up stylistically against Jon Jones has gone up against them. Name one fighter that Jon Jones has ducked. I will wait. I'll wait. Because there hasn't been one. We're talking about a guy who beat Rampage Jackson when Rampage Jackson was a scary individual. Lyoto Machida. Rashad Evans. Alexander Gustafsson, after Alexander Gustafsson almost beat Jon Jones, he then went and got a rematch with Alexander Gustafsson and dominated him. DC, who in many people's eyes, I'm just going to say this, if we're talking about a prime DC versus a Tom Aspinall, DC wins all day. And Jon Jones beat him multiple times. He's beaten the who's who's, the scariest fighters in his division. That's what Jon Jones has done. So I don't want to hear that talk about Jon Jones ducking, because Jon Jones has proven himself to me that he does not duck fighters. You can say what you want about Jon Jones, but he doesn't duck. And so, are we going to possibly see Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira? I don't know, people. I really don't know what we're going to see from Jon Jones in the future. I know he's called out and said that he will not fight another fighter after Stipe. But I think if he's going to fight another fighter after Stipe, Alex Pereira has the best bet. And how would I see that fight going? To be honest, people, I think Alex Pereira's only way of beating Jon Jones is through knockout. And I'm not sure if Alex Pereira is complete enough of a fighter to get the job done. I think Jon Jones is one of the most intelligent fighters to ever grace the octagon. Throughout his time as a champion, we have gotten a good look at how smart Jon Jones is as a fighter, and his fight IQ is probably, in my mind, some of the best fight IQ that's ever come through. The only other fighter that I could possibly think of as far as IQ-wise is on the same level as him is maybe like a Demetrius Johnson and maybe a George St. Pierre. Those are the only ones that I can think of that would even be notable mentions next to him as far as a fighter who can adapt, who can come in with a game plan and be able to dominate fights, be able to win fights in a different manner. What you see from Alex Pereira are dominant fights, but they are not. He's not adapting in a way that Jon Jones would, that a Demetrius Johnson would, that a George St. Pierre would. They can grapple, clinch, use kickboxing and boxing, and they can come in with a complete mixed martial arts style and beat you anyway. Alex Pereira, his main facet of winning is through striking. Jon Jones, you really don't know. He might come in and head kick you. He might come in and grapple you. He might submit you. He might ground and pound you. It's really hard to game plan for a guy like that. And if we're talking about him going up against Alex Pereira has a big problem on his hands if he were to face Jon Jones. And that problem would be, how would he handle Jon Jones's grappling pressure, his clinch pressure, his submission pressure? How would he combat that? The only way that he could beat Jon Jones is through, like I said, knockout. And so Jon Jones, in my mind, would dominate that fight. And that's why Jon Jones has been such a dominant champion in his time. Is that he has all the tools in his repertoire. And it's hard for me to say that Jon Jones is not the GOAT. And that's what makes him the GOAT. So comment down below, people, what you think about Jon Jones's remarks. Would you like to see him go up against Alex Pereira? Or would you like to see him go up against Tom Aspinall over Alex Pereira? Do you think Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall? Do you think Jon Jones should retire after Stipe Miocic? So, like I said, comment down below, people. This is a very, very interesting topic, and I'd love to get your comments on this. So, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.